Dispatches from the Frat House. We're going to try to do this. Liam's running around at my feet here. I wanted to show you guys something that is just so sweet and so generous. Jennifer Harvey, who made the... I'm so sorry, he's got the iPad on. I handed it to him for 5 minutes so I could film intros. You guys want to listen to the beginning to Dora? The girl who screams all the time? Somebody needs to talk her how to talk. Tell her how to talk. She just yells. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Jennifer Harvey from Chic Sparrow on Etsy was where I had ordered that A5 sized deep violet that she's generously named after me, which I'm kind of blown away by that. She sent me a smaller size, kind of like field note size leather notebook. She calls it the Christopher Columbus because it is distressed leather. To see a picture of it, you would think that it would feel crackly and, as Romany put it really well, you'd want to pick at it all the time. But it feels amazing. It feels so smooth. It doesn't bother me. I don't want to pick at it. I have this thing in my hand everywhere. I love it. So I just wanted to show that to you guys so you could see. She has 2 sizes of them up on her Etsy shop, and I have the smaller one, and I just wanted you guys to see it. And I don't know if the video will really do it justice. The texture of it is amazing. It's Italian leather, and it's just this amazing crackly... She has a picture of it, the one that's like the size of a regular Midori Traveler's notebook, made out of this leather. She has what looks like a sugar cookie or a snickerdoodle on a plate next to it. It's kind of that texture, what you get at the top of one of those cookies. But it's not falling apart. It's not something you would peel and I'm one that I would pick at stuff. But I don't pick at this. It feels incredibly smooth. I'm so intrigued by it. It's the strangest, coolest thing. So I wanted to show you guys what I was using that for. So I'm so sorry for Dora, you guys. I will see if I can get him blowing bubbles or something a little quieter, and I'll show this to you. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, you guys, here is the small Christopher Columbus notebook from Chic Sparrow on Etsy. That's Jennifer Harvey. Jennifer sent this as a gift, which is just way too generous and way too kind, and I'm just completely blown away. Thank you so much for this. You guys, I really freaking love our community. I really, really do. And not totally because of things like this. It's just because of the conversations and the exchange of ideas and the discourse, and I'm very thankful for it. I'm very thankful for every single one of you. So Jennifer sent this as a thank you gift, which blows me away. First of all, several people have asked about the leather when I posted pictures of it online. I know it looks very like crinkly, and right away, like Romany had pointed out, she said, oh my goodness, I would want to pick at that constantly. I wouldn't be able to leave it alone. I am generally the same way. If it's something that's kind of rough, I want to pick and peel and fiddle with it, and I can't leave it alone. And even though it looks like that, it doesn't feel like it. I am so blown away by this. It's distressed just the right amount. I wish you guys could like reach through and touch it, because it's not as rough as it looks. It doesn't make me want to pick or peel or fiddle or anything. I don't know what it is. It's really thick leather. Check that out. It's really thick, but look at it. It's like so incredibly malleable and soft, but it's really good and thick. She sent it with a charm up here instead of the tin clasp, which I love. Look how cute that is. It's just the right size. There are 2 bands running down the inside. I actually just got done recording this video saying there was 1 band running down the inside until the very end when I realized there were actually 2. Duh, it's right there. So there are 2 bands on the inside. Both the elastic on the inside and this elastic out here are really strong, durable. It's a little bit thicker than the elastic that's on my regular Midori. I believe this is the same size elastic that is on my deep violet notebook from Jennifer. Jennifer, correct me on that if I'm wrong, please, but I believe it's the same elastic, like the same diameter. It's really good and sturdy. And then it comes with 2 bookmarks as well. And generally I don't use my bookmarks. Like in my regular Midori that has my planner in it and my brain dump notebook and my project pages, I honestly have the bookmark just tucked in the back behind the 6-pocket craft folder, and is sitting behind everything. I don't use it at all. I do use my ribbon paper clip to mark my week, the one that Amy sent me. Thank you again, Amy. I know I've thanked you 1,000 times, but I love that stinking paper clip so much. It's the cutest thing. So, but for some reason in this one I use the bookmarks. I can't even tell you why. So I had cute little charms that I usually wear in a necklace, and I cannot wear a necklace right now. Liam is too, as you guys know, I've said it a million times, he's very grabby, so a necklace on me is silly and worth, it's way more hassle than it's worth. So these were just sitting and I love them, so I tied those onto the bookmarks. Hole in the back, just like in a regular Midori, and then it's just tied on the inside of the back, and that is pretty much it. Now what I did, I pretty much took everything that was in the brown Midori that I cut down and put in here. It was the same size, so when Jennifer so kindly sent this, I handed that brown Midori that I had cut down to one of the boys. He had wanted it since he saw that I had cut it down. He liked the size, so we went and got refills yesterday, and now he's the proud owner of what he calls a fancy notebook. So because I know you guys will ask, the way I put everything in here was this and this are obviously attached, right? That was a 6-pocket craft folder that I made from a manila file folder. The directions that we all know and love from Marian Kensington from Pocketful of Vintage, her 6-pocket craft folder video. I did cut it at its spine and attach the 2 halves with packing tape just so it would be a little wider to accommodate how wide this notebook was. You guys know I love my packing tape. And then the notebooks in the center are held together with, there are 2 bands, okay, that run. You can see the 2 holes there and 2 holes there. So there are 2 bands running on the inside. Okay, it's the same elastic as this, as far as I know. Again, Jennifer, please correct me if I'm wrong on that. It feels like the same elastic to me. A little bit thicker than in my regular Midori. And I put, so this folder goes under both of those elastics and just sits around or underneath everything. Okay, these first 2 notebooks, I was at Target getting some stuff when I took one of the boys, he works near Target near here, and I dropped him off at work and I ran in to get, you know, milk and whatnot, and I needed bands that were for a small size. I only have bands for my regular Midori, so that taller size. And I thought, you know, I wonder if ponytail holders would work. And it does. They work beautifully. Seriously, it was, I want to say I got 20 of them for like $1.50 maybe. Crazy cheap. I have a ton of them now, which is great because since one of the other boys is using that brown cut down Midori, he needed bands too because he wanted to put 3 notebooks in it. So the first 2 notebooks I attached together just at their centers with a ponytail holder, just like you would in your regular Midori. I did the same thing with the rear 2 notebooks. So there's one side of it, there's the other. Those 2 are held together. Okay, and then the front 2 notebooks, I slid them underneath the front or the left hand elastic that goes down the spine. I just slid them underneath it, so it's just holding them. You can kind of see it's just holding them right there, and the band goes underneath, or on top of, I'm sorry, the one that's holding the 2 notebooks together. And then I did the same back here. These 2 are just slid under the rear elastic, or the right hand elastic as you have it facing you and open. So what is in here, obviously, 6-pocket craft folder. I print out when I do my book journaling. I generally read on my Kindle, so I print out the cover of them so I can just kind of stick that in with some adhesive in my book journal. So those are ones that I'm not done with yet, but I was printing a bunch of stuff, so I printed those out. And some Post-its in there. This first book is, you know, it's one of those funny things where I have always been a voracious reader, always. And obviously the more kids we've had, the less time I have to read. So when everybody's home, I tend to read in little 5 and 10 minute chunks of time. On and off during the summer, we have chunks of time where a lot of the boys are gone for 2-3 days, or they're gone for a week. So I have a little more time to read. Now the problem with that being, as much as I love having more time to read, is when everybody's home, like I said, I don't read as much. So I honestly, and this is crazy for me, considering how much I've always been a reader from the time I was really little, I might go a week without having been able to read anything. Between stuff that I keep up with online and reading stuff for classes, I may not have picked up the book that I'm reading, you know, for me, that I want to read, for fun. So I take little notes while I'm reading, just so that I don't have to start going back through and skimming. It's way quicker for me. If I pick it up and I'm completely confused as to where I left off, I can flip through this really fast, see where I left off. So it's just something I've always done. I honestly Usually just used to do it on a piece of scratch paper stuck in the front of the book, but since I've been reading on my Kindle so much, this is pretty handy. So that's what that first notebook is, and it's just a Moleskine insert, because I had already started it. I had this in the brown Midori that I cut down, so since I had already started it, I just moved it into here. This one is one that Jennifer sent. She sent it with 2 inserts, this one and this one, and they have a ton of pages in them. Look at that. Ton of lined papers. So generous. So this one, you know, I'm not a magazine person. On and off, I go through streaks of reading like Wired magazine and Fast Company, and I grabbed a Vogue magazine like back in March when Mike was on a road trip with the hockey team and he was going to be gone for like 4 or 5 days. I have no idea why. I'm not a big magazine person, and if I am, like I said, they're like tech magazines and science magazines like Discover, but the pictures in this were beautiful, so I cut them out and I did a little journaling in there. So, and then some of the bigger pictures that I cut out went into the journaling notebook that's in a wide deep violet notebook from Jennifer. So that's the second notebook. The third one is a notebook that Miss Kimberly gave me. She gave me 2 of them because she's so sweet. And this is the perfect size because it's not too thick. I wanted one that was a little narrower just to keep track of the books I've read this year. Because like I said before, I'll get stuff like when things go on sale on my Kindle, I'll grab it because I know it's something I want to read. My to-read list is in my planner just because I always have that with me like at the bookstore and whatnot. So I didn't want to put the to-read list in the same notebook. So I do have a running list of stuff in my planner that I want to read. This is the books I have read this year. Just because sometimes I feel like I haven't read anything in so long, and I've always wished that I had done a better job of keeping track. So now I'm doing a better job of keeping track of what I've read. And I do it in Goodreads, but I like having it on paper. And then this last one has not been written in yet. It has a purpose, though. I have never written a fiction book, and I think I have an idea for one, so I think I'm going to give it a go. I don't know if anything will come of it. I love to read fiction. I don't know that I can write it. But this idea has really been nagging at me since like January. The book that I'm working on, the nonfiction book, a lot of you guys have asked. It's just the story of kind of how the frat house came to be. It's kind of our story. You know what? It may not interest a single person on the planet to read it, but it has been very good for me to write it. We had a long rocky road to get to be the frat house, so I always wanted to tell that story because if it helps one person, then it was more than well worth the long rocky journey. And that one is kind of in the editing, marinating, legal phase, obviously, because it's the story of us. It involves other people, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes. You know, I don't want to cause any issues. I don't want to, because some of the story is really rough. So we are in the middle of, you know, talking to people who know about the legalities of publishing and blah-de-blah to make sure that I don't step on anybody's toes or cause any issues or anything like that. So while that one is in the non-being written phase, this notebook is going to be just to grab those ideas when I happen to have this with me and I think of something. There is a notebook in my wide deep violet notebook from Jennifer that is lengthier passages. This is just, I wanted a book just for that really quick stuff that you kind of think of and you can't really do anything with right now, only if it's applying to the book. I'm afraid to write it in my planner because I went through a streak when I was working on the other book of losing stuff when I wrote it in my planner, only because of my own not indexing things well and not reviewing well enough. So this is my attempt at trying to thwart that issue before it occurs. And then obviously that is the back of the 6-pocket folder. I did grab some of those tiny paper clips, those Tim Holtz paper clips. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. They hold really, really well. I finally found some locally. So that is it. I cannot thank you enough, Jennifer. This is way too kind and way too generous. And you are an artist, dear. This is just, I love it just as much as my wide deep violet notebook. I really do, and I thank you so much for it. You guys go check out Jennifer's Etsy store. It's Chic Sparrow on Etsy. And if you guys have never tried this size and you're curious, you know, you can grab journals at Barnes & Noble that are fairly inexpensive and you can cut down. And you can put all kinds of different sizes of inserts in that'll be close to the measurements. This is about 3.5 by 5.5 roughly. And just give it a shot. I am it serves a different purpose for me because it's a different size, if that makes any sense. Just as my planner in my regular Majori serves a different purpose for me because it's a different size, and my wide deep violet notebook serves a different purpose for me because it's a different size. So, sorry, one of the boys is coming out on the deck. So that is it. Go check out Jennifer's Etsy store at Chic Sparrow, and if you guys have any questions or comments or any of that good stuff, let me know. Okay? Thanks. Bye-bye.